How you doing? So let's take a look at the result of Rich Demands and I terrible banquet prediction. So I wanted to make a separate video of mine prediction, but I decided to just combine the two of us when it comes to Rich Demand and I's prediction. And before things goes down south, okay, I don't want you to go to Rich Demand's channel um, to criticize him, telling him that he made his prediction is terrible. Okay, these Kabam YouTubers are very sensitive, so we don't know what can happen with them. Okay, mentally, so we just try to avoid that. Okay, these are very sensitive people that you know you don't want Rich the Man making another video saying crying that oh, you guys are so mean to me in the comment section because I make terrible banquet predictions. Okay, and I'm gonna tell you, I didn't make great prediction as well. I mean, but the thing is, I don't want your pity. Okay, I rather have you tell me that I made terrible prediction than saying that oh it's okay. No, I don't want to hear that. I saw that in Rich the Man's channel. It said like, oh, your prediction is way off. Somebody mentioned it, but it's okay. No, that's just enforcing terrible behaviors. Okay, terrible predictions in the future. You think people will learn from last year how terrible his prediction was? Okay, you know, it's this year was also terrible, but it's actually surprisingly slightly better, but it's still terrible. Last year was just so beyond terrible compared to this year, but that just you could say that this year was better. Show you how terrible his prediction is. Look at his prediction for the top 3%, 35,000 points. Okay, that where would that have landed you with 35,000 points? That would have landed you in the top 25%. You would not have made the top 10% with his prediction of 35,000 for the top 3%. Okay? It's like, "Oh yeah, look at Rich prediction. I'm going to go like 38,000 just to be safe." And then you find out you landed in the top 25%. That's how terrible his prediction was. And I knew that once I saw his video. That's why I rushed my banquet prediction. And that's on me as well. I'm going to take part of the blame. I should have rushed my predictions when it comes to the banquet, even though, like I said, why? Okay. So that's really on you if you follow his predictions because you haven't learned from last year because his prediction last year was terrible. Okay. And another thing is on you is trusting a Kabam YouTuber. Okay, these guys get paid by Kabam. Okay, they get paid by Kabam to sell you crystals, to sell you the game. Okay, so for you to trust a Kabam YouTuber, that's on you. These people lie. Okay, let me just give you an example of what I mean. So when it comes to Usapa, right? I said it in the first video, like first banquet prediction. I said I will bet this guy is gonna be minimum in the top 10 when it comes to Usafa, okay? I will bet minimum top 10. And then he mentioned this year that somebody asked him, will you be in the rank 3 to rank 5? Said no. And I said, no, I know for sure he's gonna be minimum top 10 this year. And I was willing to bet on that. You know, what do you know? The guy finished third place with 3.5 million points. Okay, these Kabam YouTubers are liars. That was on you to trust these Kabam YouTubers. Okay, they get paid by Kabam. They're in Kabam's pocket. So he also said the same thing last year. Somebody asked him, "Are you going big this year?" No. Then he finished fourth last year. Okay, and really, if he's gonna, I'd rather him not say anything instead of lying to people about whether he's gonna go big or not. But it's really kind of like obvious that he will, because in order for him to stay at 4 Loki, his contribution basically the entire year is the banquet. Okay, without him spending like over $100,000 a year in this game, he would they 4 Loki would kick him out. I mean, they kicked out what's it, Saifasi or something. So they will kick him out if he doesn't spend $100,000 in his game every year. So that's why he had no choice to spend like what 90,000 in this banquet, I believe. Yeah. So when it comes to his prediction, he pretty much just copy and paste from last year's prediction. It's so ridiculous. Okay, This is the alliance. This is the solo. So when it comes to his pretty much alliance and solo, he just copy and paste from last year. It's too like why Rich like use common sense. And then some of them he just increased by 10%. Okay, you know the funny thing is, um, I would have gone with pretty much exactly rich prediction with the exception of the top 600. I would have gone pretty much exact prediction with exception of the top 25%. I would have gone if I knew this was how many people were playing this year. Less than 500,000. I have it at 499,000 people approximately playing this year. And even DNA 3000 thinks it's even less than that. So what was the difference? The difference was the mean. So our average compared to last year, would had 650,000 people, was 8,000, and the mean this year is 14,800, with a with an increase of 85%. Okay, DNA 3000 say it's 80%. I say it's more than that. Okay, increase compared to last year. How is that even possible? I really can't tell. I know Kabam did cook the numbers, but how much I don't know. So when it comes to the Lions prediction, I knew when it comes to the top 10% and top 5%, I knew he was wrong because the Lions for prediction was like just over a million for the Alliance rank, okay? And for Alliance for top 10% was just about 780,000. So when it comes to this top 25% and above, it was wrong. I'm not sure about the top 25%, but I'm pretty sure I think it is wrong. And below that, 250,000 for top 50%, top 25%, I'm pretty sure is correct. I'm really surprised our Alliance scored like 124,000 and we placed in the top 50% in the rank, Alliance rank. I was kind of surprised by that. So, yeah. So, like I mentioned, I said it many times. So what? So what? Rich the man makes terrible prediction. Okay. Uh, so what? Uh, what's what's gonna happen? So what? This is why I rushed my prediction because I saw Rich the Man's terrible prediction, I knew I had to make mine right away. This is why I was trying to avoid. Okay, so this is what I was trying to avoid. So let's take a look at the second one. Comment: if I land in the 600 to 2600 bracket, I think he meant 601. 601 to 2600 bracket, I'm going to be pissed. Well, I already knew. Like, this is before the banquet started or the banquet finished. I already knew this guy was not going to hit the top 600. So he had 20K units saved before the event and had spent about $22,000 on the event deal and then some, currently at 158K points. I don't know how much this guy put up. Hopefully he put up like 220 points, 20,000 points, because that was the cutoff. But if he went with Rich the Man's prediction, he would be pissed. Okay, like, I knew. And then even Stonehenge had to correct them. As a very small fish, I do think your top 600 prediction are about 20K units short, and he was not quite right. It was more than that. It was like probably 40K units short, but he knew it was 160,000 for top 600 was not correct. Okay, this was like I meant. That's why I wanted to make my prediction as soon as I saw Rich the Man's terrible prediction, because I was trying to avoid this situation. Okay, so not to like saying that I was right, I was wrong too. Like, if you say I made terrible prediction, let me know. I should you should tell me that I made terrible prediction. I want to hear it. Okay, so these are the cutoffs for the alliance. I think I don't know if I showed you guys already. So, and this is the cutoff approximately for the solo banquet. I don't have all of them, but you can see these are, like, I would argue, the most important ones. Okay, so if you remember it, great. I pretty much remember it already. I'm not really sure I have like a photographic memory, but I remember it. So this is my prediction for the banquet event. Okay, So when it comes to the top 5%, I said 1 million. So if you went exactly 1 million, then you just missed it. So I don't know how many people would do that, but if you went 1.1, even 1. 1,080,000, I think you would have got it. Okay. So you could say I was right, I was wrong. I think I'm more wrong than right. Let me know. So when it comes to top 5%, if you went exactly 1 million, that means you just missed it. It was just under 1.1 million points for the top 5%. The top 10%, that's also wrong. That was the cutoff for the top 10%. Let me just show you again. As you can see here, this is the cutoff for 1.1 million. Uh, so if you just went 1 million, that means you did miss it, unfortunately. So top 10 was around 780,000. Top 50, we scored 124,000, and we made it to the top 50%, which is crazy for our Lions. Okay, so these are the cutoff scores. If you let me know if you remember. So these are my predictions again. So I think, oh yeah, these are guarantee scores. Okay, so let me talk about that later. So this is what my prediction was, okay? But I did say on my second video when it comes to the Banquet update, I say if you want to be extremely safe, add 50% to your score. So if you add 50% to the top 5%, that wouldn't put you at 1.5 million, and that wouldn't actually put you at top 3%. I think cutoff for top 3% was like 1.3 or 1.4 million. And I understand that you can't just add 500,000 points overnight, since I did this 2 days before the banquet came to an end. So I understand if you couldn't put an X more points than a million. Okay, so these are my predictions for the banquet, and I know I missed top 5, top 10, and top 25 for sure. So that's 3. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So I missed 3. So when it comes to the alliance, I'm pretty sure it's all accurate. Let me know if it's wrong. I don't think I missed any of them. I mean, the score is not accurate, but if you put up the points I was telling you, then that means you got the rank, if not higher rank. That's what I was trying to say. Okay, I think they're pretty accurate too. So let's see. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14. So 14, when it comes to the alliance, I missed 3 of them. Okay, and like I mentioned, if you barely missed the top 5% and the top 10%, if you went with my exact score. If you put a little bit more, like 30,000 more, you would have made it to the top 10%, and like less than 100,000 more, like 80,000 more for the top 5%, you would have made it as well. So if you did, I apologize. It is what it is. So these are my alliance. I forgot how many counts, but I'm just gonna let you know. What is that? 3 I missed. I don't know exactly how many total now. So unfortunately, yes, when it comes to the solo event, uh, it was bad. Okay, so if you went with my top 75% score, that's good. That was, then you would have got it. Top 50%, you would have got it. Unfortunately, top 25%, you would have missed it. It was like around 18 to 19,000 the cutoff. Top 10% was so big difference. Honestly, uh, I think the top 10% for sure I would have missed. I know I rushed, and the top 25% as well. Like, really personally, like, if I didn't rush my prediction, I still would have missed top 25% and top 10,000. Okay. If I had better, like, if I didn't rush my prediction, I did it 2 days or a day before the banquet was over, I would have probably said the top 25% was like at most 17,000, maybe 17,500, but I think the cutoff was minimum was at least 18,000. So yeah, you would have made the top 25%, even if I went with like 17,000, because I don't think it would have been higher than that. In the top 10%, I would have put more than 35,000 for the top 10%. It went to around 39,000. I don't, even if I said 38,000, you would not hit top 10%. So those two for sure I would have probably missed, if even if I took my time when it comes to the banquet predictions and give you more accurate results. But top 5%, I think, I would have probably said 50,000 if I was like, if I didn't rush my prediction. Top 3%, I I think I would have said the same thing. Maybe like 65, but not likely. Uh, so you just missed the cutoff for the top 3%, look, it was just like 61,000, if not just over that. Okay, no, these are guarantees. So top three was 61,000. Okay, see, this is why I give you guys the second update. Why I give you guys guaranteed scores. Okay, I mean, some of them look unrealistic, but I knew some of my scores were like very risky. Okay, that's why I decided to give you guys what I called guarantee scores. And I was so confident about my scores that I was said like I would quit MCOC if any of my prediction for the guarantee score was wrong. Okay, and all of them was right. Okay, I mean some of them were exaggerated, but all of them was right. I mean if you went with that rank, the funny thing is, if you went with my rank for the top 2,600 of 220,000, you would have got top 600. Okay, so so you know, yeah. So when it comes to the alliance as well, they were all. If you went with my score for the alliance, guaranteed scores. This is the guarantee one. No, it's not. So for the guarantee scores, then you would have got all the ranks as well. I know it's not that easy. Like okay, put like 10 times as many points as the cutoff, and then like oh make it so easy. No, I know it's not easy, but that's why I meant to give you guys guarantee scores because I knew when it comes to my prediction for the alliance and the solo, it was not like it wasn't really safe. I knew that. That's why I say these are not guaranteed scores. Okay, these even safe. I mean safe and guarantee. If I understand if English is not your thing, but they're not the same thing. Okay, guarantee is supposed to be 100%. Okay, that's why I gave you this on the second one, and probably most people did not even see this because I see my YouTube channel, how many people or the duration of people watch it, like the time and stuff. It's like they watch like 5 minutes out of 25-minute videos. So I would not be surprised most of the people didn't see this. Okay, when it comes to my guaranteed scores. That's why I knew it was in trouble. Personally, the top 3% was very close because it was around 61,000, a little close to be a guarantee score. But I said to somebody already that 62,000 was guaranteed. Okay, so that's why I was like, yeah, let's just stick with it. Hopefully that works. But personally, if I had to do it over for the top 3%, I would have said like 65,000 to be guaranteed. That was a little too close for comfort. So last thing, like I said, like I don't recommend you guys. I don't want you guys to come to Rich Demand's YouTube channel saying how terrible his prediction is. Okay, these kabam YouTubers are very sensitive. You don't know what's going on with them, so just don't say anything negative to them if to his YouTube channel. Okay, um, that's if you want to say negative, anything negative to me, that's fine. I'm okay with that. I really would learn from it, like saying that I made a terrible prediction. I gotta learn from it. Okay, I don't need your pity because I'm not gonna learn anything from that. Okay, and with the help of Cascam cooking the numbers, that's why the cutoffs were so far off. Okay, and look at this. Okay, I would never imagine we lost 150 more than 150,000 people in the banquet this year, considering that we scored over 41% higher, I believe. I mean, I did it in my head, but I'm pretty sure it's over 41% higher compared to last year. Okay, so yeah, that's it. Lesson learned: don't rush your predictions. Like I said, I didn't want to. I wanted to make my prediction as soon as possible after I saw Rich the Man's terrible prediction, but at the result of it, uh, I made terrible prediction myself because of rushing it. So lesson learned there, I guess. Thank you.